He's one of those guys that he's gonna get you. He's gonna do everything pretty well. Admittedly, he's probably a second baseman on most teams now, but he's gonna hit you 15-15 with a decent average. And that's why I
Agreed.
said, like, I kind of like those guys that kind of pick you up the steals. You don't have to worry too much about it.
Yeah.
One
Stat sheet fillers.
weird thing. Everyone's writing him off. I'm not ready to. He's in this area.
How can you write him off when the guy just pops
Everybody
out of
thinks
nowhere
that-
sometimes and has monster seasons?
Everybody thinks that everybody else on that team is better.
He had a great year last year, dude. He had 288, 15, and 40.
Oh, no crap.
He had a monster season last year, dude.
He's going with 130th pick overall, 129.06, as
Yeah.
late as 170.
He's got a great bat, man. He's always had a great bat. His position's been an issue for him.
You take Myers over Yastrzemski?
No, Mike Yastrzemski's sneaky, dude. People don't realize the kind of numbers that guy's put up.
Yeah, the thing about him that's kind of surprising is the average. It's like I knew he could hit home. I thought he could hit home
He
runs.
can hit. He's legit, man.
He's been hitting 280, 285, pretty
Yeah.
solid. And the numbers back it up that he's a 285 hitter. The quality of contact backs up that he should hit in that range. He's not
He is sneaky,
he's not going
buddy.
to be a 244, 250 hitter.
No.
That's what I say about him.
I like Yastrzemski. He's one of those guys that I'm higher on the most. Maybe it's because I'm a Giants fan and I watch him so often, and I just kind of know that the rest of the league sleeps on how great he actually is. But he's just the guy I absolutely. That's why I mentioned his name earlier when we were talking.
He's 4 back of Myers on their list.
I'll take Yastrzemski all day over Myers.
I actually I have Yastrzemski just ahead of Buxton and Myers on my list.
I would take him above Buxton as well.
I have him behind Rosario. I have him behind the 2 big power hitters.
I agree with that because I like Rosario a lot. He's Mr. 30 homers. He's consistent.
I have him behind Gallo and Soler. And those guys
I don't have him behind Gallo.
Because of those guys are just such good home run hitters. I don't understand.
Jorge Soler is a question mark to me. He had that one really good year, but nothing else ever around it. I don't know. He had decent power last year, but
he had a pretty good first year with the Cubs, and but it was that partial year. But in his defense, it was longer than 2020.
I just need to see it again. I think it's one of those things where before I'm going to be buying into him as like a late career surgeon like Edwin Encarnacion or somebody like that. I'm just not buying. I'm not buying it yet.
That's why I'm throwing the other name in there. If I go over under 40 home runs for Gallo, are you taking the under?
Only because he can't stay healthy. All right, so 2 factors in that. 1, he can't stay healthy, and 2, the ballpark. We just don't know enough about that new Rangers ballpark yet. From what I understand, it's fucking cavernous, but we only played 30 fucking home games in it last year. So,
have you ever seen this guy hit home runs?
Gallo?
I don't think.
They're not cheap.
Yeah, he's not a cheap guy. Though. Yeah, he might.
I get it, but Texas
he might lose a couple of those, like where he hit a pop up that because he's strong, it's a home run.
Third factor is the balls.
It's always the balls.
It's one of those things, man. Like where people don't understand that Ranger Stadium had a massive jet stream. There, you got that ball in the jet stream, and it was fucking gone, dude. The old Ranger Stadium, and so many guys lived on that shit.
I don't know that it's not really going to be. We really don't. Just like you can't judge a player based on the 60 games, you can't judge that stadium there. It's like I lived in Keller, Texas, right? Just because they moved from Arlington, one spot to another part of Arlington, the humidity is still the humidity that's there. The ball's going to carry in August. Maybe it's a little harder to home runs because of some weird little effect, but it's not like that. It's not like that's all of a sudden, the Polo Grounds.
Sure. They're just question marks for me, and when I have question marks in regards to anything fantasy wise, I'm going to decrease the value.
I also think there's a little bit of the fact that the Rangers played at that park. It's like people. When I lived in Atlanta, people used to say that Atlanta Fulton County Stadium and Turner Field were those were like pitchers parks. They really weren't pitchers parks. They just happened to have Glavine, Maddox, and Smoltz pitching there all the time, along with some other pretty good pitchers like Jason Schmidt and Denny Nagel, and there were a few other guys in there. And then they move 14 miles to the west, and everyone goes like, "Wow, this new stadium is a hitter's ballpark." No, it isn't. They don't have three Hall of Fame pitchers pitch there anymore. The team that's hitting the Rangers team that played last year was not a very good team, and
interesting.
They got their reputation for being a hitter's ballpark when the Rangers used to have a really good team when they had
the Nelson Cruz days.
Yeah, the Ruben Sierra, Juan Gonzalez.
Oh yeah, the big dogs.
The Pina Clavilia.
Yeah.
Old
school Rangers, and then we got the Josh Hamilton Rangers, and
yeah,
there's been a lot of pop in that ballpark.
Yeah, right now it's I think now it might be a little worse, but I don't think it's just going to move up the thing. Like the people who say that San Diego Padres is no longer a pitcher's ballpark, which it's not, but it's not like it's it's not like it's Coors Field. It's like it just got better. It wasn't. It's not in your way anymore, and I think that's the way Texas is going to play. It's like the people who are home run hitters are still going to hit home runs. The real worry is the guys. There are a lot of players over the last 5 or so years, if you count what's changing with ballparks and change what's happening with the balls, that became superhuman because of the launch angle revolution, whatever the hell that meant. But it was because what really helped was it helped the guys that would normally hit the ball, 300 feet, because that extra 15 feet of carry meant it was a home run. It helped Scooter Gennett, and it helped Didi Gregorius, and it helped those kind of guys. When they mess with it, those guys are going to come back to earth on those numbers. Sure. And the guys that hit home runs, and Gallo's going to hit 40 home runs. He might hit 230, but the truth is,
I like Gallo. I can't draft him with the same or think about him the same way I think about some of these better home run hitters that are stay more consistent and hit with a higher batting average.
I don't think there's a better, more consistent home run hitter that I haven't already named here yet. I have him in lockstep with Soler, who you said yourself isn't all that. The book is still out of him, but they're like who out here is real 40 home run possibility
in the outfield. I mean, the only one you can really go that I could lock up and go. I can look at a guy like Aaron Judge. I can put him in that same kind of category.
We have judged 30, 40 picks up.
I get it. I'm not saying that I don't think that he's a great home run hitter. I just don't know that I trust him. I'll take him when I can get the value. Sure, I've drafted him many a times. I'm not against Gallo at all. I don't know that I'm going to pay for him.
I don't know if this is where he's being drafted is exactly paying for him. I
mean, 164 ADP.
Yeah, he's going behind Anthony Santander, who I like at some level, but it's Anthony Santander.
Of course,
he's going ahead of Ian Happ.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way I'm going to take Dalton Varsho over him.
Varsho is the anomaly in this grouping. He's only that high. He's only that high
because he's a catcher.
Ability. Yeah, it's like
I get it.
If you took that catcher off of that, he wouldn't even be on the list.
Just fucking
around.
But I look at a guy like Ryan Mountcastle. I'll take Mountcastle over Gallo any day of the week.
I like Mountcastle a good deal, but I don't think it's that clear cut. But you probably are right. I actually think Mountcastle's going to figure into the first base run because I think first base is a little weaker than people say.
He's going to be good.
And the idea that he plays first base and outfield is kind of cool. I like to have one guy on my team that plays first base and outfield.
Can we wrap in like the next 10, 15? I got to get going.
Yeah, I know it's a long time. Let's see. I'll go through the players. I think Santander. I like
Michael Brantley a lot. We kind of didn't really touch on him.
He's just a consistent guy.
I like Victor Robles.
Ian Happ is an interesting one. I kind of passed him over at second base, and I think I short shifted him a little bit. He's not going to be that bad. He's not going to be
bad. I didn't realize how young he still is, man. He's only 26. I feel like he's been around for freaking ever.
I think that I like what I saw to AJ Pollock. He hit 15 home runs last year. He was once.
If he can stay healthy, he was a really great player for Arizona, man. I remember drafting him in the first 3 rounds every year.
And it looks like he's going to play the game up there. I also think Andrew McCutchen coming back.
I love Andrew McCutchen, dude.
Is a good pick.
That's a really good ADP for him. I would take McCutchen over Clint Frazier, who's being drafted freaking 10 rounds earlier, or I'm sorry, a whole round earlier.
What do you make of Andrew Benintendi?
It's hard. It's hard to say. Here's the deal with Benintendi. And Benintendi's and I'm sure our buddy Kevin Hastings will probably be the utmost authority because he's in the Royals now. But I can see Benintendi running a lot more in Kansas City than he did in Boston. The homers might go down. He may never hit more than 10 or 15 at the most, but I think you may see a decent batting average from him, and he might be a guy who could steal 30 bases again. You just don't know. I don't know what to expect of him in that ballpark, the way that team is designed.
I was listening to Lenny yesterday the other day. I do drive around and I'll be listening to him. I can't really put in it. And he was talking about how he loves Benintendi, and he said, "You really want to take this guy over something like Ramil Tapia?" And I'm like, God, I'm going to take Real Tapia over him by a long.
I would take Tapia over Benintendi, but I like Benintendi, and if he's not around in the right spot for me, I would definitely snag him.
I don't know how you can like Benintendi. I really don't. I don't know what we've seen in this.
He's had some decent seasons where if you look at the overall numbers and what do you contribute.
He had one. It's been quite a while since we had him. I mean, I sit there and I go, I wish we could talk more about these guys, but I don't know. I actually don't have Benintendi ranked. Because I literally don't know where to put him. Every time I look at somebody, I go, oh, nope, I'd rather have him. Nope, I'd rather have him. I'd rather have Clint Frazier. I have Yasuo Puig.
Even if you look as recently as freaking 2019, 13 homers, 68 RBIs, 10 stolen bases, those are stat line fillers. It's not, and he's still only 26. It's not like we're taking this guy in a third round like we used to a couple years ago.
He was, 13-10 is really not, literally, I'll take Victor Reyes over that, and I'll get those numbers from Victor Reyes. And Victor Reyes is way down the list. Victor Reyes is statistically better than Andrew Benintendi, and he's one of those guys that is really great for like filling in a couple of stolen bases at the end. If he, I'll take Victor Reyes.
Okay, interesting.
But that's what Victor Reyes is. He's 13 home runs, 12 stolen bases in a 293 average. It's like it's nothing that anybody in their right mind would ever get excited about, unless his name is Andrew Benintendi and he's on the Red Sox. I just think he's a guy that was always overhyped, and going to Kansas City doesn't do him any justice. And if anything, it kind of pisses me off because I was hoping to see Edward Olivares play. I was hoping to see Cal Isbell play.
How is Yasiel Puig not freaking signed on a team? I did not realize how good his numbers were his last year. He played for Cincinnati. He had 24 homers and stole 19 bases. That is insane. And had 84 RBIs and still hit 267. I mean, that is an outstanding season for a guy that is literally sitting in free agency right now. I don't get it.
I have Alex Benintendi. I have him at number 75 on my list. That's as far as
I'll take Puig over Benintendi any day of the week.
I got Puig over him. I have Reyes over him. I have Adam Eaton, Hunter Dozier, Shin-Chu Chu.
I don't know that I would take Adam Eaton over him at this point in his career.
Adam Eaton is literally the best. The thing you said, what Adam Eaton is, that guy. Adam Eaton is actually a better baseball player.
He's a better baseball player. I get that, but he's also an older baseball player. He's 32 or 33, and Benintendi's only 26.
He gets hurt a lot. He gets hurt with some regularity, but he's a guy that can steal you 8 or 10 bases. But he's a straw that stirs the drink.
Does he have a starting job in Chicago this year?
Yeah, he's gonna be the starting right fielder, right?
Okay.
I mean, they literally are talking about. What's his name? Lewis Roberts going to play center.
Okay.
He's going to play right.
Whoa.
And then the other spot is the Adam Engel spot.
Eloy Jimenez.
Well, one of them is going to play DH.
That's what I'm saying. So I just am curious how that's going to work. Is he the fourth outfielder, or is he have a starting position?
I think that Luis Roberts is center fielder. He's the right fielder, and Jimenez is their left fielder.
Okay, let me go. Hold on.
The Sox just signed Edwin Encarnacion again,
which I like.
Andrew Vaughn was the guy, but there's no way. I mean, Adam Engel.
Adam Eaton's a starter and right.
You could see Adam Engel making a case for being a starter somewhere the way like Juan Lagares had or Kevin Pillar, because he's a really good fielding outfielder as a center fielder. But the truth is, Luis Robert is a really good center fielder too. It's one thing that people didn't even notice last year, how good a fielder he was.
Have I been asleep? I completely forgot Lance Lynn went to the freaking White Sox. That team's going to be so good.
That's what we're trying to do to all these things. Well, you know what we're going to do is, because you don't want to go too much longer, we got 8 minutes. I'm going to try to cover a couple of things. Is that next week we're going to do pitchers, and the week after that we're going to do the things we regret not talking about. All right?
Got you. Sounds good.
And because there are probably some things that we go like, we could skip some of these things, but I really wanted to talk about Alex Kirilloff just for a second.
I like him.
Something like that. Yeah, who don't you like?
Well, I like him. I don't love him.
But anyway.
There's lots of guys I don't like. That's. I mean, we could definitely have a whole show on guys I fucking hate.
You know, I like. I was going to look at guys that are way off the charts. I like Tyler O'Neill on the St. Louis. I have a feeling on this guy. If you look at what he's done, right? He's played 3 years.
Okay.
In the first year, he hit for lots and lots of power.